NXT starts off with Trick Williams. He ends up cutting a promo. He basically crashes out. He was crashing out before he start cutting the promo. He was in the parking lot. He was going through the arena. He ended up going through like the back area where they start following him all the way to the ring. They didn't play his entrance music, which I really thought was very cool. He's basically crashing out. He's crashing out due to his loss at Halloween Havoc for the NXT Championship. Still talking about how he's the guy, that he's the top dog in NXT. He runs NXT. Ava eventually he wants another title shot due to him losing. Eventually, Ava comes out, basically ends up telling Trick that this isn't the way to go about it and that throwing a tantrum isn't going to solve everything. Trick Williams basically starts listing off his accomplishments of everything he basically accomplished in NXT, him being a double champion. He mentions the people that he has beaten, like Pete Dunne, and mentioned other rivals like Ilya Dragunov. No, I don't think he mentioned Ilya Dragunov, but he basically lists off all the things he has done in NXT. Ricky Saints then comes out. They end up having a brawl, and they constantly had a brawl throughout the show, throughout the entire show, from the beginning of the show all the way to the end of the show. They just kept fighting over and over and over again, which I really enjoyed because this feud definitely needed some more. It needed some more heat to it. It needed some more intensity. I think this is a good way to start off Ricky Saints' title reign because I think Ricky Saints' title reign does need a little bit of a spark, a little bit of an edge to really kick it off because, like I said, he doesn't have many challengers from a heel perspective right now. So Trick Williams being that very obnoxious, over the top heel is a perfect way to start off his reign. And I'm actually liking this view. I like what they're doing here. Very excited to see what next they could go with this, how they have played this up next week. But this was really good. Really enjoyed it. I like how they started off the show with them brawling and ending the show with them brawling as well. Really enjoyed this. And it's already confirmed that they're going to have a last man standing match in 2 weeks. So I can't wait to see how that match plays out. And they have another week to build upon that match, which I do enjoy. But this was a great way to start the show. Really enjoyed this. Afterwards, we end up getting a speed championship, well, a speed tournament match between Jasper Troy versus Axum. Jasper Troy picked up the victory. He's going to be in the finals facing a Grande Americano. Very interested with why they chose Jasper Troy. I'm not mad at it. I think it was the correct choice, but Jasper Troy in a speed championship match is a bit weird to me because I just feel like a speed championship is more so for more fast-paced wrestlers. Jasper Troy works more of a slower style, so we'll see how that ends up playing out, whether he wins or not. The other thing I do want to mention is Soruka does vacate her women's speed championship due to her injury. She was asked if she wanted someone to defend her title, but she ends up refusing this time, which has Zarya be a little bit upset. So they're definitely teasing Zarya, feeling a little bit, feeling like she's not trusted by Soruka to defend her title. And Zarya was end up saying that she was going to try to win back the North American Championship for her, but she ends up getting interrupted by Fatal Influence. So they're still telling that story, which I do like. Let's just hope that they don't tease this for too long because, like I said, you already been teasing this for a while. We don't need another 3 to 4 months to tell this story. We really only need like 1 more month to really tell this story, and then you could just pull the trigger on a heel turn. So very interested to see how that plays out. I just hope it's soon. I hope this is not something they just drag out for a very long time. But nonetheless, I'm interested to see what they do with the men's speed championship because they immediately pushed the women's speed championship with Sol Ruka. Now I don't know if they're going to do the same thing with a Grande Americano or Jasper Troy, but we'll see how that plays out. Now we end up getting your women's NXT champion Tatum Paxley. She ended up cutting a promo. Very great promo from Tatum Paxley. She ends up mentioning, her working so hard for the past 4 years to finally become NXT champion. Mention all the hard work she put through, what she went through. Then you end up getting Tatum Paxley ends up saying that she wants to be a fighting champion. Izzy Dane ends up interrupting, ends up basically not agreeing with her being a fighting champion, ends up saying that people should earn the opportunity to face Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley ends up refusing. She ends up saying that it's her decision basically and that she's going to basically be a fighting champion. Then she ends up mentioning the Halloween Havoc wheel that they used to do. And she ends up saying that she ends up bringing it back, but she ends up putting a bunch of opponents for her. She ends up putting a bunch of opponents for her to see who she'll face, and she says she'll spin the wheel to determine who will be her challenger, which I did like. So it's basically like an open challenge, but not really. It's a unique way of picking your opponent than just having someone interrupt, then have the match or have a random backstage. I like this. This is very unique. I like what they did here with Tatum Paxley. Izzy Dane was a bit confused. She doesn't like that Tatum Paxley is defending her championship. She wants people to earn a championship at the opportunity. Then Sean Spears ends up asking Tatum Paxley, why is Izzy Dane not on the wheel? And Tana Paxton's responding was like, why would her name be on the wheel? We're friends. We wouldn't never fight each other. We wouldn't put our friendship in jeopardy. Which I was completely on Tana Paxton's side. I was like, why would her name be? I was like, that was just a dumb question to begin with. I was like, of course her name not going to be on there. You're not going to fight your own friend. Plus, if you wanted a title shot, you could just ask for it instead of being on the wheel. But Tana Paxton spins the wheel and ended up being Lola Vice, which I was cool with. I like this. I want them to keep doing it, to be honest with you. It looks like they're going to continue to do that too, because she did say she want to be a fighting champion. So I actually want them to do that, to be honest with you. Who knows? Maybe this is how they do the whole turn with Izzy Dane. They could easily have a way where Izzy rigs the wheel at one point where it lands on her name by accident, where Tatum just didn't know, and then she could easily turn heel during the match. They could do a lot of ways with this storyline. I'm liking what they're doing. I really am. I like the story that they're telling with this whole friendship, Izzy Dane being jealous of Tatum actually, her not liking the idea, her thinking that she's not worthy to be NXT Women's Champion. I'm liking this storyline. I love what they're doing here, and this could really catapult Izzy Dane as like the next top heel in NXT for the women, because they are going to need to fill that void because it can't be JC Jane forever. It looks like Blake Monroe, of course, will take that spot as well. But in terms of the main event for that NXT Women's Championship, definitely see Izzy Dane taking that role because Izzy Dane has been improving month after month after month. Her character work has really got a lot better, and in ring while she has been getting better as well. So I'm very interested to see how this storyline plays out. Afterwards, we end up getting a women's evolved championship match between Kendall Gray and Lash Legend. Now, this thing ended up becoming a thing due to one of those random backstage segments that Shawn Michaels loves to do for whatever reason to make a match. Okay, it was a thing between Lash and Ren Sinclair. Kendall Gray sticks up for Ren, so this is why this is a thing. Why is Lash Legend losing to Kendall fucking Gray? This makes no sense at all, and I don't understand it. Because Kendall Gray just won the Evolve Championship, so I don't understand why. Now, Kendall Gray has had made appearances before on NXT, but they was always like very filler feuds, and they was always she was always like this weird flavor of the month. Because I remember one time they was doing the whole thing with the NQCC, and she was randomly attacking Charlie Dempsey for whatever reason, suplexing them. Made no sense. I just don't understand. Maybe I'm tripping, but maybe since I don't really see the star potential in Kendall Gray, I don't know. I wouldn't mind this as much if this was Callie Armstrong winning this because she was a Evolve Women's Champion, but they was clearly featuring her as like the next top girl in NXT with her having that whole storyline with Jordan Grace. Like, I feel like that would have made more sense and that would have came out more believable in my opinion. And plus, I don't understand what was the point of this feud because it's like we know Kendall Gray is just gonna go back to Evolve. Like this isn't elevating her. Like, I don't, unless she's going to continue to actually be on NXT weekly, there was no point of this feud. That's the only thing I'm confused about. If she, which I know she's not going to be on NXT weekly. I already know she's not. So it's like, if she's not going to be on NXT weekly to actually get the benefits of beating Lash Legend, it doesn't make sense. I don't understand why they even went with this because Lash Legend went from going toe to toe with Nia Jax, a former WWE Women's Champion, to losing to Kendall Gray. I don't know how that makes sense. I don't even know where this Jada Parker and Lash Legend storyline went because they just completely dropped that. The last time they had an interaction was them brawling. What happened? They didn't have a final match. They didn't have nothing. They just completely forgot about it. They just stopped with that story. So I don't know what they're doing. We'll see how this plays out, but I highly doubt this is really going to benefit Kendall Gray, but we'll see. We end up getting Tavion Heights versus Miles Bourne. This match becomes a thing because Miles Bourne and Tavion was getting into it. Josh Briggs ends up interrupting, basically ends up insulting both guys, ends up saying that both guys are just not ready and that there's only one spot to be the top guy, and he ends up saying himself. They both want a match against Josh Briggs, but unfortunately, they feel like only one person could take that spot. Ava ends up interjecting herself, ends up agreeing that only one person really deserves a shot. And they end up making this match official to determine who will be the next one to face Josh Briggs. Now, this was very weird because Josh Briggs did come out on commentary. Miles Bourne picked up the victory. But after the match, Josh Briggs attacked Tavion Heights. So I don't understand why would he attack Tavion if the whole point of this feud was originally about him and who was going to fight him next. I don't understand. And then afterwards, we end up getting Trick Williams and Ricky Saints, if I'm not mistaken. They end up brawling too as well. So this was very confusing in my opinion. I don't know what's really next because I don't know if Josh Briggs is just gonna fight both of them or is Miles Bourne gonna get his shot first. I don't understand because I don't know why Josh Briggs attacked Tavion. I don't get that point. I didn't understand that. Yeah, then late afterwards, we end up getting Miles Bourne getting attacked by Trick Williams with a steel chair. Continue his crash out, calling out Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints, and then eventually he's a sneak attacking Trick Williams, and they end up brawling. So I'm very interested to see where that goes because is Miles Bourne all of a sudden gonna go after Trick Williams or I don't like. That's the thing I was confused about because Miles Bourne won the match, but Josh Briggs attacked Tavion for whatever reason, even though Miles Bourne is next in line to face Josh Briggs, and then Trick Williams attacked Miles Bourne. Now I understand why Trick Williams did it just to continue the whole him losing his mind, him crashing out. I was just confused on why Josh Briggs did it. I feel like it would have made more sense if he attacked Tavion Heights instead of Miles Bourne, in my opinion. But we'll see where this all goes. Now we end up getting NXT Women's Championship match: Tatum Paxley, Lola Vice. This match ended a disqualification of Fatal Influence, which I was very disappointed about because I was actually hoping for an actual definitive winner. They let Fatal Influence, JC Jane, Fallon Henley, Laney Reed all interfere, attacked everyone. And next week it's going to be a 6-woman tag match between Lola Vice, Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dane versus Fatal Influence. So we'll see how this plays out. I don't know how to feel about this because I don't hate the booking decision because it makes sense. But at the same time, I don't know because I kind of feel like we could have just done this after the match instead of during the match. I was hoping Tatum Paxley would actually get a title defense under her belt, in my opinion, because I want her reign to be really good, which I do think her reign will be good. So, but at least they're already giving her some story while in this reign. So at least that's good. At least they're not just going to have her just spin the wheel every goddamn time and that's her story. At least they're actually giving her some story with this Fatal Influence stuff continuing. And then she has the Izzy Dane stuff. So we're starting off good with this Tatum Paxley stuff. So even though I did want her to defend the winner with Tatum Paxley winning, overall I get why they did it. This is going to progress. This is progressing the story, of course. So I like what they did here. Let's see. I wonder how this is going to play out. We end up getting a quick Blake Monroe segment. We end up having one of her vignettes where she's doing her like old school style vignette. She was in the back in her bathtub. I love this style of vignette segments that they do with Blake Monroe. It's fucking amazing. I'm very excited to see what's next for her with that North American Championship because her reign should be amazing. I'm going to be honest with you. And she has plenty of baby faces that she can easily get crazy heel heat from. And like this reign could be really good. She could easily be the greatest women's North American champion. To be honest, I don't even think it's going to be that fucking hard because I think majority of the reigns are very overrated. I'm just gonna because a lot of people overrate the women's North American Championship reigns because a lot of people think Kelani had a great reign. I think it sucked. Fallon Henley, I thought it was mid. Stephanie Valcours was okay. She held it for about 40 something days. It was fine. Then you have JC, well, not JC Jane. Then you have Soroka, who I thought was decent. Her reign started to slow down a bit because she wasn't defending it as much. It started off great, but then it slowed down. But overall, it was a solid run. So I think Blake Monroe can easily be the greatest NXT Women's Champion, North American Champion. But she can easily become the greatest because she has plenty of great. I think I could argue that she's probably the best character out of everyone who held that championship. She's easily you got the most character development out of all those women. Plus, she's arguably one of the better in-ring talent as well. So I really think that she can have an amazing run, plus because she has a ton of baby faces you can face. Lash, Jada Parker, Lola Vice, Thea Hale. Who else am I thinking of? She has a lot of opponents from a babyface perspective that she can have actual great feuds with. So I'm very interested to see how this whole NXT North American Championship title reign. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. Now we get the main event. Jordynne Grace versus Kelani Jordan for the TNA Women's Knockout Championship. This was a solid match. I enjoyed this match. Towards the end of the match, you end up getting Kelani Jordan using the TNA Knockouts Women's Championship to pick up the victory. Trick Williams and Ricky Saints continue to brawl throughout the entire show. This distracted the referee to allow her to use the championship. It looks like Kelani Jordan finally turned heel, which was perfect because she should have been turned heel. I'm going to be honest. They should have pulled this shit months ago. I don't know why they waited so long because they should have turned her heel when she first was having her character crisis, when she was starting to have a bit of more of an attitude, instead of making her a baby face with a little bit more edge. No, they should have been turned the trick on him. Now, you guys know I'm not the biggest Kelani Jordan fan, but my main issue has always been her character work. Her being a baby face, she needed something to change, and I'm glad this is it. So let's see if this heel character can really elevate her, really transform her. Because I always said that Kelani Jordan, for me personally, never really had that it factor. She has the in ring down. It's just that character. She just lacks the charisma, and she just lacks that it factor that really could really take her to the top. So let's hope this heel run can actually be something. Then we end up getting Trick Williams, Ricky Saints. They brawl. They end up tackling each other into that little wall poster that they love to do. Basically their version of the barricade spot. Ava comes out, confirms it's gonna be a last man standing. Overall, this was a really good show. Really good show. Way better than fucking Raw. Really good show. Really enjoyed it. You guys let me know your overall thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.